Hey, Geometry, and welcome back. Just a reminder, our test is coming up this Friday. Okay, so make sure if you have any questions, you're prepared to ask me about them Wednesday and Thursday when you come back to class. Send me an email if you have anything you want to know. I can try to explain it, or we can do it in person when you're back. But today we're going to take a look at some different word problems, and these first three are things you've already done, and then we're going to kind of examine some more word problems. Okay, so this first one says let B be between A and C. So anytime we have a problem like this, I think it's a good idea to draw a picture to set it up. Okay, our picture might not be perfect, but at least it can give us the endpoints of A and C. We know that because of right here. Okay, and B is somewhere between. So I don't know exactly where, but that's where I'm going to guess for now. Now, it tells us here three pieces of information. So AB is going to be 3x plus 3. BC is 8x plus 9. And the whole thing is going to be 100. Okay, so now we're going to take part plus the part. So this part plus this part equals that whole thing. Okay, so we'll set up our equation. 3x plus 3 plus 8x plus 9 equals 100. And bam, now we got an Algebra 1 problem. You guys have already passed Algebra 1, so you're good to go. So combine our like terms. This 3x and this 8x will combine to 11x. The 3 and the 9 will combine to 12. And that will equal 100. We subtract the 12 from both sides. 11x equals 88. And one step left, divide by 11. And we get x equals 8. Okay. Now on this one, right here it said to solve for x. That's all we had to do. So we are done. Sometimes it asks us to solve for AB or a certain chunk. If that was the case, we would plug it in right over here for the x, and we'd have one more step to do. But this time it just asks for x, so we're done. Okay, question 2 here. Q is the midpoint of PR, and it got a little off here. That's supposed to be segment PR. Okay, so midpoint. That's a key word right there in that it tells us it is exactly halfway between P and R. It's exactly in the middle. And a key thing, if it's the midpoint, I can put a mark here, and those are the same. Okay, so now I'm going to label it right here PQ is 13x minus 12. And on the other side, QR is 8x plus 3. And the key thing, we don't know what the whole thing adds up to, but we know those are the same. Because it's the midpoint, Q is right in the middle, these two sides are equal. So I can set up another Algebra 1 problem. And from here, just need to do some algebra. So I'll add 12 to both sides. Subtract the 8x. If you want to do this in 2 steps, that's fine. I'll get 5x. This will cancel, equals 15. Now I need to divide by 5, and I get x equals 3. Now, we did that right. However, right here, we solve for x. Now we need to find PQ. So to find PQ, I can plug it in right there for the x. So I'll do this over here on the right side, but 13 times 3, whatever we get, minus 12. 13 times 3 is 39, minus 12 will give us 27 as our answer. Okay, so the next question says, how many dimensions do each of the following have? And you're going to make sure you want to know this. We need to know our vocabulary for the test coming up. Okay, so how many dimensions do each of them have? For a plane, we know that it has 2 dimensions. Okay, you can go horizontal and vertical. Okay, a line is just going to have 1 dimension, and a point has 0 dimensions. All right, so now we are starting to get to some of the more wordy problems. Okay, kind of a story problem type of scenario. So this first one, you're driving around I-465, and that's the road that loops around Indianapolis. It's pretty close to, here's Indianapolis in the center. Ben Davis is somewhere over here, just a little bit west. Okay, so this is 53 miles in length. It says you're driving past mile marker 14 and trying to get to mile marker 36. How many miles is this? Now, even though it's a circle, we can also think of it just as a straight line because you are constantly moving forward on this. So from 14 to 36, okay, all we got to do is take the farthest one right. So 36 minus that 14, and we still have 22 more miles to go. All right, if you were starting at the beginning and going to drive one loop around I-465, at what mile would the midpoint occur? Now, this has a length of 53 miles, okay? So using our midpoint formula, x1 plus x2 divided by 2, we can think about it. At the starting point, we'd be at mile 0, and at the finishing point, we'd be at 53. So if we add those two together, divided by 2, 53 divided by 2, and that'll be at 26.5. If I'm moving too fast for you, go ahead, skip back a little bit. You can watch me solve a problem twice or hit pause while you catch up. But let's go ahead to the back of my sheet here. So number 5, you are running for the school track team in the 400-meter race. Okay, if you run track, that's one lap around the track. You know that. Okay, it says you're 212 meters into the race. How much do you have left to run? Okay, so all we have to do now is think 400 minus 212. I've already done the 212. Okay, and we will get 188 meters left. Okay, I still have 188 meters left to run. Now, it doesn't ask you this, but I want you to think about this. Okay, from 212, what is halfway to the finish? And this one, you got to think carefully about. What point is halfway to the finish from 212? So, in order to find this, we can use our midpoint formula again. Sorry, a little sloppy there. If we have x1 plus x2 divided by 2. Okay, so if we do that, we'll take 212 plus 400 divided by 2. We'll get 612 divided by 2. And we'll get at mile marker 306, or sorry, not mile marker, meter marker 306. Okay. All right. Our next one, number 6, it says draw this scenario and then solve for the length of AB. So point A is at -3. So to make that -3, 0 is going to be somewhere around here. Point B is at 12. Oops, let me put that on top like the other numbers. So that's point B. So from -3, -2, -1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now, once again, you have two ways you can solve this. You could just count it once we have all those in, or we can take the farthest point here to the right and subtract the farthest point here to the left. 12 minus negative is plus plus, which gives us 15. Okay, so AB has a length of 15. If I write it like that with nothing, no markings over it, that tells us that it is the distance from A to B. Now, if I would write it like this, that's segment AB. If there's just one arrow, it's ray AB with the initial point of A here. And then if I put two arrows, that'd be referring to a line AB, and it'd go forever in each direction. All right, so number 7 here says find a segment that has a midpoint of M in the picture below. So M is right there. That's our midpoint. Now on this one, there would be 4 answers I would accept. Okay, we know if it's the midpoint, it has to be right in the middle. So you go either way. The farthest to the right it can go here is 1, 2. So if we went 2 over, that'd be O. If it's 2 to the right, it also is 2 to the left, so that'd be K. So we could do segment OK. Since it asks for a segment, we need to label it with that mark. Now we can also label a segment the opposite way, so KO, they can flip. We also instead could do 1 over here. So 1 over and 1 over, and do segment LN or segment NL. Now our next question here says find a segment that has a midpoint of H in the picture. So H is over here. There's less options for this. It could only go 1 to the left, which means it can only go 1 to the right. So our two options are GI, don't forget your segment mark, or IG. All right, and we got one more left that we're going to take a look at. So question 9 here says, you're at 38th Street and trying to get to 16th Street. Approximately how many side streets are you going to pass along the way? So the way our grid is set up in Indianapolis, as we drive north, the numbers get higher. As we drive south, they get lower. So if we're at 38th up here, we're driving south to 16th, think of it as a number line. And it's not exactly, because sometimes there's extra streets, sometimes maybe there's like a river or the canal or something that makes it so a street won't always exist. A big business that takes up a street spot, but it's going to be approximately 22 side streets, okay? Now, today there is no homework, okay? Nothing you have to do, but be ready, because on Wednesday and Thursday we're going to really review vocabulary. We're also going to really review to get ready for this test that's going to be on Friday, okay? I would recommend today take a chance to try to practice those vocabulary words again. I'll leave the link in the description of what to do today. But please take advantage, get ready, because there's no other homework. Or if you're behind, catch up today. Okay? So hope you have a great day. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye.